Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It is Connor here. We're back on the sofa. We're back chatting Leeds United, and we are back chatting, of course, Jed Spence. Jed Spence, welcome to Leeds, a profile that I've wanted for a long time now, a profile that I'm very enamoured with, very excited with, very enthused about. Because for me, this guy he's top draw. Tottenham have got Pedro Porro at the back at the minute in terms of that right-back profile. I still think in terms of ceiling, Jed Spence is a better player than him. I think he's a more well-rounded player. I'm stunned that no Premier League club has come for him, but hopefully Leeds with that year option, we're going to see what he's like again in the Championship, and we're going to be able to make an evaluative process on whether or not we can make that a permanent transfer. I think it's going to be a successful signing. I look at him and Somerville as a combo. I look at him and Nonto as a combo, and I think there is no other relationship like that in terms of quality in the Championship. I think that will be an extremely good two-profiler in the Premier League. I think it's top 10. I really do. So when you're looking at the Championship, that is a massive upgrade from Leeds United. You've levelled up from Luke Ayling on a grandeur scale, a ridiculous scale. That is something I'm very, very happy with. So welcome to the club, Jed Spence. Does this spell the end for Luke Ayling at right back? I would say so. Jed Spence hasn't come here to sit on the bench, and when you look at quality, he's on a different level to Luke Ayling. So let's get into a few more of the rumours today. Sam Greenwood looks like a number of Championship clubs are looking at him, according to some very decent sources. Apparently Bristol City, Swansea are all looking at him. I'd be fine with him going out. I actually thought last night against Salford was probably the most impressive cameo he's made. Leeds were very, very sluggish in terms of passes at points, and I thought Greenwood was getting it on his left, was getting it on his right, and firing the ball out to Sinisterra in those transitional moments where it was causing Salford a little bit more bother. I thought when Leeds were working in the pockets a little bit, especially before that penalty box area, I thought it was very lateral, it was very stagnated, and I thought at points it was very slow. I thought when we got in and around the box, when it was 1-2 touch between Somerville, Sinisterra and Nonto, that was when you started to see Leeds cook, heat up, and that's where you saw a lot of chances coming. But I thought just on the edge of the area, it was very, very slow. Greenwood came on and started actually doing the Calvin Phillips, switching the ball really, really quickly and moving Leeds onto that front foot when it came to Sinisterra. So, yeah, positive performance from him last night. Would I loan him out 100%? I still don't think Sam Greenwood is good enough. You heard Michael Bridges just waffle on about his set pieces last night, and I know he scored from one of his set pieces, but aside from a couple of instances, I genuinely can't remember Sam Greenwood just being electric at set pieces. Hit the bar, didn't he? But from his Leeds career so far, I don't think to myself, wow, Sam Greenwood, he has to be. It's David Beckham, it's Ian Hart. I don't see that really. But yeah, that's the reputation, I guess. But he was unlucky last night, but I thought he was one of the positives last night. Jamie Shark, just on a side note, thought he played really well last night. As Phil Hay said, I think he covered about 30 miles, so he played really, really well. It was good to see Somerville back into the fold. Thought he grew into the game. I mean, Leeds were massively unlucky. Was it 36 shots, 72% possession? We were unlucky last night, but you need to take your chances, and that's where you miss Joel Perreault, definitely. I think Perreault plays last night, and you're probably scoring 4 or 5, because it's not just the finishing with him, it's the link-up play as well, which we saw against Ipswich. But overall, I wouldn't mind seeing Greenwood go out. Now, Elia Grewev, Bulgarian midfielder, Werder Bremen player who apparently hasn't taken part in training today because he's in talks with another club. Phil Hay reporting that apparently Leeds are just that club in talks with him. A lot of people discussing him being maybe the replacement for Ampadu. I don't see that whenever I've seen Grewev, especially from the highlights that I've been watching recently. Progressive passes. He's very, very decent. Pass completion, very, very decent. Successful take-ons, which isn't an Ampadu profile whatsoever in that midfield. He's very decent. One thing, and an area maybe he is lapsing as well, is tackles, interception, blocks, clearances, and aerials. One taken out of it. These are all strengths of Ethan Ampadu. So I don't see him as an Ethan Ampadu replacement whatsoever. I see him as that person who's next to him. You look at an old Norwich City set up in that sort of like 18-19 season where they won the league by however many points, 97 I think it was. You had Tom Tribal next to Vrancic. You had Tete next to Vrancic. He's a left-footed player, looks quite silky on the ball. Very much of the Lewis Bates, but I'm going to throw one out here. Very much of the Mark Rockers as well. Looks very similar in terms of a profile. Ampadu and someone like Grewev, could that be the new Adams and Rocker? It looks very, very similar. Both are similar in terms of profiles of their former players in that position. And yeah, interesting to see. I don't know how many Leeds fans are going to be having meltdowns over sort of a Mark Rocker profile because they hated him so much. So yeah, Looks like we're going to be getting the rockerism back, which is great for me. I'll very much enjoy that, especially at championship level. But yeah, it's interesting how Daniel Farke likes this one as well. Daniel Farke really wanted Mario Vrancic and was pushing the needle for that one at Norwich. So that does make a lot of sense. The balance in the midfield and that double pivot as well, left footer and a right footer, similarly to a centre back. A lot of coaches like that. You know, it gives you a little bit more on that left hand side than it would maybe an Archie Graben on that left hand side, because he's predominantly right footed, as we see with centre backs nowadays. Having a nice balance is having a left footer and a right foot, i.e. Pascal Struijk and Joe Rodon. So I think that is a nice little needle mover there, and something which I think gives Leeds a little bit more coordination in that midfield, and gives Leeds a little bit more coordination at the back as well, with a left footer and a right footer. But interesting to see as well in Phil's article that apparently we're focusing still on centre backs, which is interesting. Could that mean maybe a little bit of a move for Charlie Cresswell? I'm watching Charlie last night and I'm still not convinced. I'll be honest, I'm not. I'll be honest. I thought sometimes in possession, a couple of decent headers he made, but in possession, he's not on the same level as Pascal Struijk. He's not. Simple. You might love Charlie because his dad used to play for Leeds. He was born in and around the area and all, you know, there's that sentiment attached to Charlie. In terms of someone on the ball, he's nowhere near as good as Pascal Struijk. I think Pascal Struijk's better anticipation-wise at the back as well. And yeah, I think Rodon is obviously, along with Struijk, is the back two. So if Leeds are still looking at centre-backs, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Charlie there. Be expecting maybe a little bit of a move there. We've also seen with Jed Spence, with him coming in, is there going to be movement on the Cody Drameh front? You would expect so. I've been moved completely on Drameh, and I think the reason I've been moved on it, because believe it or not, everybody, in football, you can change your mind. You can change your mind. I think a lot of people, especially in this new weird Twitter era where you get clipped up whenever you say something different to what you said previously. That's not allowed. In football, you can change opinion based on performance. It's weird. It's such an unusual concept. But when I've been watching Cody Drameh, and he's not been playing right back, you know, when he was playing for the development side, obviously the under-21s and all this sort of stuff, he's been very, very impressive, but he's not had that break from any manager. Alongside that, he has been played at left back, hasn't he? In the previous game against Ipswich, he was just nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. And I know it's difficult to change from one side to another. Tony DeRigo even said that if he was played at right back, he'd really struggle. But I think you've got to be at least competent, and you've got to be able to cut out individual areas. You've got to be spatially aware and not get caught out on the ball, and your positioning not to be absolutely abhorrent, hence why he was hooked after 25 minutes of being on the pitch. Shaq came on, did a decent job at left back, and then Shaq last night I thought was one of the best players on the pitch. So where would that leave Cody Drameh? And Farke's come out and said that he's come out and just praised Jamie Shackleton from last night. There's no way Drameh's ahead of him. And do you know what? I've never been a massive Shackleton fan. But as a utility man, as the new Stuart Dallas, in my opinion, I'm absolutely fine with him. As long as he's the utility man. And the club have recognised that by going out and getting Jed Spence. Obviously, Ayling's still on the books. The club understand that he's a utility man. And he's at that age right now where I think he'd be okay with that. Millwall move didn't go swimmingly for him, so I think he's all right with a year of just recovery at Leeds United, where he feeds his way back into the squad. But it's been a really good start from him. A really good start. I don't think he's there ability-wise whatsoever, but he gives energy, endeavour, heart for the shirt, which I think has its own merits. And I think it does with Jamie. So that's good for him. I'm happy for him, but it does spell the end for Cody Drameh. And that's that, unfortunately. You know, it's I thought we'd see a little bit more from him. I really did. And I had a lot of faith in him, to be honest, to show us a little bit more. I was actually quite excited when he came on for Byram, to be honest with you, but he was a level below Byram as well. He really was, which says a lot. So, yeah, game last night. Carl Darlow continues the Leeds United trend of us not having a goalkeeper who can save any sort of penalty. I thought it was a vile goalkeeping display in terms of the penalty shootout. That was so bad. So bad. And I don't want to end this on a negative, but he's done nothing there for me to go, oh, okay. I thought it was a bit slow in terms of reaction for Matt Smith's fantastic header, has to be said, but reactions were a bit slow. And it just felt like he got nowhere near to any penalty without jumping off his line and fouling. He'd served 7 penalties in 31, but it seems like he's got the Leeds United curse now of Melier never saves a penalty. Darlow now apparently never saves a penalty as well, but it hurt me a little bit that we gave the Man United lot a little bit of we through to the next round. That wasn't nice to see. Nicky Butt and obviously Neville and Keane in there going nuts and all this sort of stuff. So that was a bit irritating, but by the by, us being out the cup's not a problem. It's not a problem. We're never going to win it. And that's what you've always got to think. It's like, oh, I'll go for a nice cup run, but we're not, we're not Timbuktu FC. We're not, Barrow. We're a side who is trying to get promotion. Us being out the cup will not bother Daniel Farke. It will not bother the 49ers. Concentrate on the league. Let's get out of this league again and get promotion. Salford City want to go on a run. That's absolutely great. It's great for them and all that sort of stuff. And other championship clubs can do that, but it's going to add 2, 3, 4 more games to their fixture list, which is going to make it a lot more difficult. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. We're going to be back for the next couple of days with transfer content coming out of your ears. Really would appreciate a like, a comment, of course, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.